everyone. I'm your host Riyad Maroof Hassan, and you're watching A Sketch of the Sky Season 1 only on the Clippers. Today we have a very special guest, and he is none other than the multi-talented Souhardya De. Hello Souhardya,
Hi, Ria. Nice meeting you
nice
on
meeting
this show. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me here.
you. My pleasure. So I have some questions for you. Can we start?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
So my first question to you is, when did you start your journey as an author?
See, there's not exactly any certain date or time when I first, started writing. To be very honest, I found this world alluring ever since my childhood. And we used to have, those certain composition classes at the primary stages of school. But yes, to have taken a greater interest in writing on art and culture, history and heritage, and mythology, in fact, was predominantly incited in me when I was in my early teens and was turning through the pages of the various Indian mythological tales by Amish Tripathi and Devdutt Patnaik. So the way my first book, was born is quite an interesting story in itself. So those were the summer holidays of 2017, and my parents had gone out for work. So being left alone without network connectivity and games to play, I focused on doing something, creative, and that's when that struck to me that I could definitely write a book, if not anything else. So yeah, that's how I wrote my first book in 2017.
Souhardya, how do you relate academics with literature?
See, academic writing is a very important part in literature. Now, since you are a writer yourself, as I read about you, you must know that in literature there's this part called non-fiction writing, or what we call as academic writing or referencing writing. So in that part, you need to understand the various academic portions that exist in writing, the various opinions and the views and the dissertations of various scholars who have, since ages worked on your topic before you, or maybe people who have been opining through various articles on your topic. So I write academic articles as part of my columns for the Sunday Guardian. And in fact, in literature, if you talk about the portion or the contribution of academic writing and literature, it's vast because what we know today is one of the biggest, has been known to us because of academic writing, which is I feel a real blessing of how referencing works. Because when you're studying an academic journal or a book, non-fiction history book, if I talk about that. So you have, lots of footnotes or references at the end of the page where you find works by various authors having been cited as citations or as references, and you can, jump through them, or you can, read through them when you find your time, and you can explore the topic to a deeper depth, which is what I feel is the best part of academic writing and literature.
When did you start writing columns?
So basically, it was in 2019. 2019, or when I was first inducted into the Statesman as the coordinator for their weekly students, paper called Voices. I used to write for a supplement around until June when I first started writing with the Sunday Guardian, and I've been writing there. And other than the Sunday Guardian, I've written in various places, including the Huffington Post, Thrive Global, and at the Standard UK, and other international newspapers and portfolios as well. But I write a regular column for the Sunday Guardian at present, which basically focuses on Indian art and culture, history and heritage, and predominantly on topics relating to ancient and medieval India.
And when did you join the Royal Asiatic Society of Great Britain and Ireland?
It was in 2019 as well. So it was on 30th September, when I first applied through two referees of mine at the University of Oxford who proposed my name to the council. There was an election over there, and in the election, I was elected as a fellow on 30th of September 2019. So it is from 2019 that I've been a fellow at the Royal Asiatic Society of Great Britain and Ireland.
And how did you feel when you got to know about yourself being one of the Rashtriya Bal Puraskar 2021 awardees?
Well, it was exciting, because being awarded a civilian honor for your works is a proof that that the government has recognized your contributions in the field that you're pursuing. For example, mine is art and culture. So this basically serves as a proof for me that the government has in fact, recognized what I've done in the field of art and culture, and that they're recognizing me for this purpose, and that they are encouraging me to propel myself further in the upcoming days. So yes, rather than being excited, I focused on developing myself, improving my skills ever since I got to know about the award. And especially, as a part of the award came the interaction with the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi sir, and which was in fact motivating, since he talked to us about the various aspects of life and how you should deal with recognition, and how you should never let recognition turn you into a boisterous individual. Rather, stay humble at all times and continue to uphill your own self to propel yourself, as I said earlier, further. So it was indeed a good experience for me.
I congratulate you for that.
Thank you very much, Riyad.
Why do we need historical fiction as a genre in English literature in the 21st century?
See, historical fiction, talking about historical fiction, the genre in English literature, the two basic reasons why I feel so. The first is the foundations of our past, especially talking about India, are very philosophical in nature. They are very strong foundations, the basic foundations on which the principle of India has been built. Now, when at this point of time we are trying to move forward on the visions of an Atmanirbhar or a self-reliant India, we should not let those foundations be blemished. We should take our philosophies further, taking it from the foundations of the past, and as a motive, as a way of spreading the foundations of the past, what I talk to you about now, or the ideals that we had in the ancient and the medieval ages. For example, if you talk about Mahabharata, it's an epitome of how dharma wins over the evil. It's a triumph of good over evil. Similarly is the Mahisasur Mardini story that is shown through various folk dances across India, including the Cho, the Dandiya Ras, etc. So basically, historical fiction is one such medium. It's a popular culture medium that helps in popularizing the ancient or the medieval Indian art and culture among the youth today, because historical fiction is essentially history and intermixed with fiction or your creativity and fantasy. So when you intermix history with fantasy, it creates an impact or an appeal to the young generation that gets to read your work, and as a part of reading your work, they get to understand a bit about the ancient Indian culture, a bit about the medieval Indian culture, which people are too disinterested about nowadays. So which is why I feel I write in the historical fiction genre, and in the 21st century would like to see historical fiction come up as one of the biggest emerging genres of the Indian literature, especially talking about when Amish Tripathi records himself to one of the biggest debut authors of all time in Indian and international literature, writing historical and mythical fiction. So which is a proof, in fact, that people have in these few years, in the 5 to 6 years or in the last decade, got to got to study more about historical fiction, and enticed themselves into watching more of historical fiction films, which is evident from the production of cinemas like Bahubali, Padmavat, and there's this cinema called Bahira Mastani, etc., which are all historical fiction and the blockbusters, in fact, which signified the appeal among historical fiction, among the appeal of historical fiction among the youth of today. So, which is why I feel historical fiction is really important genre in English literature.
Thank you, Souhardya, for coming here and such
Thank you, my
easy
pleasure
answers.
indeed. And thank you again for inviting me. Have a nice day.
Have a nice